What made Darth Maul's ship the deadliest of its era? Greetings Acolytes, and welcome back to the Archives. Although seen only briefly, the Scimitar might be one of the most important ships of the Republic Classic era. Used by Maul during his apprenticeship under Sidious, the Scimitar was the perfect ship for someone of Maul's particular skill set. It was incredibly stealthy, highly experimental, fast, and horrific. For many, the Scimitar and its beauty would be the last thing that they ever saw. But what in particular made this ship so dangerous? It wouldn't be until after Maul's supposed death on Naboo that the Jedi would inspect the Scimitar and find that it was riddled top to bottom with Sith technology. And not only that, but that the ship was also apparently alive, powered by the dark side itself. This makes the Scimitar something of a prized Sith artifact, and the only one of its kind. So join us today as we analyze the ship that flew under everyone's radar and nearly made a member of the Jedi Council fall to the dark side. But before we begin, be sure to drop a comment letting us know if you enjoy these sort of breakdowns and want to see more in the future. And if you do, tell us what other pieces of the galaxy you'd like to see analyzed and explored. Now, onto the holocron of the Scimitar. The Scimitar itself has a history that predates its use by Maul. In Legends continuity, the ship hadn't originally been designed for Maul, but it was actually made for Sidious's predecessors. Many had thought that it had been built by the Wraith Sanar, the lead of the engineer and the founder of the Sanar design system. This was because it bore a striking resemblance to the armed star carrier ships designed by the Sanar system. While Wraith Sanar was no stranger to designing ships for Palpatine specifically, he actually denied involvement with the Scimitar. In actuality, it was designed and built by Rugress Gnome, better known as Darth Tenebris. Rugress was the alter ego of Tenebris, who was a successful tycoon that made a fortune building luxury starships. Despite the similarities to Sanar and its carriers, the Scimitar was actually manufactured to resemble the Sith infiltrators of the new Sith War era. In fact, a model that looked very similar to this was used by Darth Bane during his own life. The folding wings around a cockpit with a classic Sith design can actually be seen used as early as the Great Galactic War, and it would go on to be the inspiration behind the TIE Fighter's wings. The Scimitar was equipped with deadly weaponry, including 6 solar ionized cannons, and could fire rapid bursts in the blink of an eye. These cannon types produce high-powered ionized beams with enough heat to completely melt durasteel. This would enable the Scimitar to completely disable or decimate any ships that are caught within its sights. This worked extremely well with how quick the ship could actually move and its maneuverability. Its sublight engines were the fastest of the time, being the highly experimental XC2 ion drive array, which despite being able to chase down and destroy any ship that it saw, it was unlikely that the pilot of the Scimitar would even need to use its weapons. This was because the main feature of the Sith Infiltrator was its prototype cloaking device. Powered by an array of what is known as a Stygium crystal, the cloaking device was the first of its kind for a ship of this size, being exceptionally small. It was able to produce a field that rendered the ship completely invisible both to the naked eye and even the most advanced of security technologies. The Stygium crystals were historically used in other Sith technologies as well, and experimentation likely led to a perfect cloaking device, or near perfect. To complete the insane stealth specs for the ship though, it was also complemented with a thrust trace dampener, which was a device that captured the ship's exhaust gases before releasing them into space, making the Scimitar impossible to detect even through its engine exhaust. This is how Maul was able to slip in and out of any mission that he needed. The ship was literally designed for a pair of Sith masters that would want to conduct clandestine dark side business and rituals. With all of this though, the ship itself was said to be valued at around 55 million credits. Designed by Tenebris, it had been a gift to his apprentice Plagueis, who would then use it until the very day that he died. Once Palpatine inherited the ship, he appreciated the craftsmanship, but didn't really have any use for it. He never went on these kinds of missions himself, and had many other crafts at his disposal. He viewed this as the weapon of an assassin. In Legends, Palpatine would decide to gift the ship to his apprentice in Maul once the Zabrak had proved himself worthy in training, and although the ship would technically belong to Darth Plagueis, it was Maul's to command, the greatest gift of his entire life. But this was all a play by Sidious, to keep Maul dependent on his approval by spoiling him with rewards for good work, but punishing him severely for bad behavior. This was a sick masterclass of manipulation to keep the Sith assassin loyal and devoted to Sidious. But of course, even Plagueis believed that Palpatine spoiled his apprentice too much, and this caused Maul to gain an ego. But it was for one of these such occasions that Palpatine gifted him the scimitar, and Maul was overcome with such gratitude and great appreciation of the beauty and power of this new ship. Whenever he met his end on Naboo though, the scimitar came into possession of the Republic, and they would keep it in a secret hangar on Naboo for a short period of time, all after the analysis crews of the Republic tried to send in the ship would be killed by the scimitar's internal defense systems. So the Jedi Order decided to have their lead starship expert, Saesee Tiin, run his own diagnostics, and what the Jedi Master found was so terrifying that it shook him to his core. The following message was sent by Master Tiin to the High Council. "Greetings, Master Yoda. The vehicle that delivered the Sith Lord to Naboo has been secured. It does not surprise me that the ship was designed to kill intruders, but given its contents, it seems strange that it did not self-destruct when its own had failed to return. The ship's exterior bears a striking resemblance to an experimental Sanar design system's armed star carrier, but every aspect of the vessel is either heavily modified or prototypical. It was equipped with a built-in cloaking device, and I've confirmed that the device is fueled by stygium crystals. Various weapons and devices indicate that this is Sith technology. All the ship's records have been wiped clean, and I have found nothing to identify the Sith Lord slain by Obi-Wan. Although I have disabled the ship's weapon systems, I am compelled to say that it still poses a great danger, and I recommend that this vessel be placed in the Jedi Council's care. That ship is alive with the dark side, Master Yoda. I feel it clinging to my robes, and worse, it still tempts me, calling me back with promises of fantastic journeys to the far reaches of the galaxy and space. That ship is alive. What a chilling sentence and statement by Master Tiin. The ship was so potent in the dark side that it almost had a mind, much like a kyber crystal does. And even though Saesee only interacted with the ship once, he mentioned that it tempted him. It called out to him to take it, go off on adventures in the great unknown. Sith technology is treacherous, which is something we know about when it comes to the holocrons, amulets, and other types of artifacts. But it's not something that we often think of when it comes to entire vessels. Rather than be outright hostile to the Jedi Master, the scimitar could sense that Master Tiin knew more about any ship than anyone on the council, and it attempted to seduce him. Very few Jedi would likely be tempted by the idea of adventure and excitement among the stars. Even Master Yoda said such things a Jedi should not care for, but Saesee Tiin had perfected his own precognition to where he was the finest pilot of the Jedi Order. He had a connection with starships that may have only been matched or rivaled by Anakin Skywalker. And speaking of Anakin, it is a very good thing that he never came into contact with the scimitar. Otherwise, I would be inclined to say that he would not be able to resist the scimitar's enticement, its promise of exciting journeys through the galaxy. The fact that Sith technology is able to go so far as to corrupt someone just by having them pilot a ship makes it wildly dangerous and even more intriguing. But anyway, my friends and acolytes, this was why Darth Maul's ship was the most dangerous of the Republic Classic era. Sith technology is a rare and a dying breed of knowledge. Even though Sidious and Vader would go on to use inspiration from it in the Empire's exploits, these were again just inspirations and homages to the past. But when a Dark Lord unashamedly merges technology with the dark side, an entirely new kind of power is unlocked. Sith scientists of the past have experimented with such things, such as the Sith Lady Belia Darzu, who invented the technovirus. But anyway, my friends, what are your thoughts on the scimitar? Would you take the ship up on its offer for a grand journey and excitement? And would you like Sith technology to have more attention paid to it in future projects, and the ship reappear? As always, my friends, thank you so much for visiting the channel today, and may the Force be with you always.